Welcome back, Knights of Apollo. You've just made it in time. Battle is to be met. Rome is divided by two political parties. They are in a gruesome civil war, and they are willing to drag their vassals through the mud, willing to achieve victory at any cost. Now, the defenders are outnumbered, but they have the advantage of the walls. They have the advantage of the grand city of Athens. On the attacking side, we have Rome, of course. We have the Suebi using their shock troops. Over here we have the Iceni. And then last but certainly not least, we have the Spartan warriors of, well, Sparta. And now for the defenders, of course, we have the rival political Roman party defending the walls of Athens. Over on this side, we have Bactria defending mostly against Iceni. And then finally, we have the Seleucids, also known as Seleucids, who are defending the western part of the city. So yeah, what's up, guys? It's Apollo, and I'm excited for this battle. We've got just an epic last stand kind of scenario where the defenders are at a clear disadvantage. Look at that balance of power, and they're gonna have to use their wit. They're going to have to use their skilled troops, and of course the walls of Athens, to pull a victory out of this very troubling scenario. So right now we are seeing a lot of artillery, it looks like, start to focus down the Bactrian Royal Guard, a very good unit and a tragic unit to lose this early on. Oh! And they are using, look at this, they're using the siege towers to soften the Bactrian Royal Guard. Never, guys, never leave your troops up like this. Just send them up when it matters most, right before they scale the walls. I mean, not right before, but send them up in enough time so that they would be ready for any kind of troops to scale the walls. But if you leave them up like this, they're going to get focused down by that enemy artillery, and they've done a lot of damage. People often forget that siege towers have this capability, and they can rack up a lot of kills. So let's actually go over here where the fight has already begun with the Spartans and the Romans. Now, clearly Sparta is a great faction, but they are not a great attacking faction. They are probably one of the better defensive factions, so it's going to be fun to see the Spartans actually on the offense, but they have quite the task ahead of them as they are fighting some armored legionaries, and the clouds there covering the sun. So I definitely upped my graphics quite a bit from the usual Rome 2 graphics I tend to record at. I'm just seeing what my limits are here. It seems like it's running very smoothly. I'm also using OBS more often, which seems to be a lighter program compared to what I normally use, which is Bandicam. So yeah, the frames seem to be much better. Very smooth, and it looks great. It looks great. So yeah, we've got a lot of Spartan hoplites scaling the walls. Even have some Spartans going down here to charge this defensive armored legionary unit. They've got a support Eagle cohort. Look at the guys like, fire! Shoot down! Well, not shoot, but, you know, kill the Spartans. So I wouldn't have charged that area. I think I would have kept sending reinforcements up on this wall. Well, let's actually slow motion it and go over to the other side and see how things are progressing between the attacking Romans and the Seleucids. Now, it might get a little confusing on which Rome is which. Just a little note here to help you avoid any confusion. On the minimap, they are red. Also, they have a red border around their flags. The defending Romans are yellow on the minimap, and they have a blue border around the flags. It will still probably be confusing, and I usually don't accept replays that have the same faction on both teams, but this is a pretty great battle, so enough said. I don't want to give anything away. So yeah, the Romans are fighting a good fight here against some thorax swordsmen. These are, so what kind of Principes, so they're pretty decent. I'm pretty sure they can beat these thorax swords, but the Seleucids do have the advantage of archers, which, where are these archers? Here they are, firing down in that position, getting some great flanking fire on the Roman infantry as they scale the walls. That is a classic strategy there. Something I used to do a lot. It's something I do a lot. I mean, everybody should do this strategy as it's just really, really effective. I called this strategy, I did this a long time ago in Medieval 2. I called it shooting fish in a barrel, where you are just lining up the enemy troops and just taking them out, almost like execution style. Now, these troops do have their shields pointing in the right direction, which is good, but you usually want to focus on troops that are fighting like this. Notice how their flank is exposed? Look at the lighting. See how the light goes through the troops? Ah, very nice. But yeah, their flank is exposed, and this is a good archer target. Maybe not now because the unit's so depleted, but yeah, it's always a valid tactic there. Also, the arrow tower is putting up some support as well, as these thorax swordsmen, the Seleucids, are not willing to give up this gate so easily. More fighting going on over here as well. Same situation. Principes against some thorax swordsmen. Very cool, very cool. More Romans scaling the walls over here. They've actually gone to the streets. Legionary Corps about to form a shield wall here, preparing for the charging thorax swordsmen from the Seleucids. Hold the line, man. We will take these streets for the glory of Rome. So nice little struggle there. Let's go back to Bactria. Bactria actually has one of the smallest armies, I believe, in today's matchup. So they don't really have they can't really afford to lose too many troops like they did here. So they're already at a pretty big disadvantage. I mean, look at how they're going to hold this wall. And look at the Iceni. They're taking their time, truly trying to use this Scorpion siege tower capability as much as possible. And now they are going to continue to fire down on the walls, and Bactria is going to have quite the challenge ahead of themselves, trying to hold against the Iceni. Iceni, very good faction, very tough. Now back over here, things are still looking very much the same. Maybe the Spartans have advanced a little bit, have gotten a little bit more ground, but they still fight for the walls against the Roman Eagle cohort, which I believe... Yeah, Eagle cohort defending this this pathway here, preventing the Spartans from any way of getting down from these walls. I definitely think if you attack with Sparta, you need to bring artillery. I think it's absolutely vital that you knock down some walls, because that's where the Spartans thrive. They thrive in those like very tight position, like pass kind of, you know, situations, where on the walls, yes, it's a tight like area here where they're fighting, but it's too tight, you know what I mean? Like, the Spartans aren't able to properly form the phalanx. They aren't properly fighting on this wall, and I think they excel better in an opening of a wall rather than fighting on the walls. So I mean, the Spartans are still going to do great here, but I think they could do better in an, you know, a destroyed wall situation. You can even send in the pikes. That's one thing that Romans do not have, pikes. And if you use it in a choke point situation, you can rack up a lot of kills and do a lot of damage. The only thing that pikes are weak to is archer fire, and that's one thing the Romans do have, so you got to watch out for that. But yeah, definitely going through a choke point would be really great for Sparta. They're doing the best they can here with what they got here. Oh, these are royal Spartans, guys, and they're already down to a handful of troops, but they will fight to the bitter end. Look at them, back to back, surrounded by Romans. Yeah, I remember hearing a cool story about, you know, the artwork they have, like this guy has a bee on his shield. I remember hearing a story, I think this was like just like a History Channel documentary or something about Greeks, but one guy had a tiny flea on his shield. And this could all be myth or, you know, just a made-up story, but he had a tiny flea on his shield, or a fly on his shield, and someone's asked, well, that's not very intimidating. Why do you have a little fly on his shield? He said, well, when I'm right in the face of the enemy, shoving my shield and, you know, fighting against the enemy, and I'm right in his face, that flea will look like a lion. You know, I thought it was really cool. Or that flea, whatever it may be. It will look like a lion, which I think that just you know, captures the spirit, especially for the Spartans, but the spirit of the Greeks, or the ancient Greeks, with their deadly hoplite. So I just love those little stories in history like that. Whether it's true or not, like I said, I think it really captures the, you know, the culture of that time. But yeah, the Greeks look like they're actually pushing back this Eagle cohort, but I don't know how much longer it's going to last here, because if these Romans defeat these Royal Spartans, they can easily turn and surround the Royal Spartans fighting over here. So, oh, hey, look, the Iceni are advancing now. And this is tough. This is a tough decision for Bactria, right? Because you don't want to necessarily give up the walls because of, well, this. Because they are throwing projectiles at the enemy on the ground, which they can rack up a ton of kills. And oftentimes when I see players give up the walls and I'm attacking, I will set up archers on the walls and just use the walls as a vantage point to fire down at the defenders. Now, he is doing a good job here with these mercenary Syrian archers. So that's one thing to counter it, is to focus down any archers that get up on the walls with your own. But you got to be careful, and so far he's doing a good job. Over here, though, let's see. Nope, he's doing a great job. He's got two, I think the rules here, max 4 archers. He's got 2 archers on each side, just focusing down all the soldiers who are scaling up here. So maybe he should have charged through this gate first, but look at this. They are just holding position. They don't want to charge this Bactrian Royal Guard, and they're actually using javelins. Oh, nice, but hey, the thorax swords fire back. Bactrian Royal Guard, they're ready to charge. They're like, let us charge. Hold, men, hold. I personally think I would charge, but we got some Iceni trying to go to the flank. They instantly break as they lost a lot of troops. And this is Chosen Sword Band, which is a very good unit. So to see them break like that must be very disheartening for the Iceni soldiers watching from afar. Romans still fighting against the Seleucids over here. Still fighting the good fight. And I'm not really seeing too much, well, no, yeah, I'm seeing progress here. The Romans, the attacking Romans, I should say, are making great progress on cleaning up the Seleucids who are fighting on the walls. It seems like they just couldn't handle the Roman numbers, which is often true throughout history. But yeah, the thorax swords are doing the best they can, but I think the Seleucids may have to call a retreat. And again, when I played with my friends in siege battles, we had codes for things and different names for different tactics, and we called this red alert. This is red alert, as in we must give up the outer position and fall back to a more secure position and prepare our defenses for the next wave. I just love siege battles. I love siege battles, and I think you guys do too. Clearly. So yeah, very tough fight here for the Seleucids. And we haven't, we've got some berserkers here from the Suebi, which we haven't seen anything from the Suebi too much. They're kind of taking their time. They've got troops here. Some sword masters. Why are they not? Okay, this is weird. Hold on. Let's slow motion it here. Either he's letting his troops rest, but they're fresh right now. If I was Suebi, I would be pouring through the streets right now. I would not be sitting here. I would be running. Nobody fought here, by the way. Maybe some oil, maybe some arrows. That's about it. But there's no dead soldiers here. They didn't fight anyone. They're fresh. They're in shield wall for some reason. Charge in there and overwhelm the defenders. Do not give them a chance to fall back. Surround them and cut them down. And I'm a little surprised that he's taking that route. Let's go back to normal speed though, and see what's happening over here, where the Chosen Band is fighting the Royal Guard. Finally, they finally committed to the fight, and surprisingly enough, Bactria is doing a good job defending this point. We even have some archers in the back here firing. That's a really great, this is a really good setup here. You know, the fact that he has 2 units, right, holding here and here. He can now set up archers over here and fire at the backs of the troops all the way on the other side. But unfortunately, I think the pressure of the chosen sword band up on the walls, firing down their javelins, is causing the Bactria to start to fall back. And I think Iceni is going to be able to overwhelm these troops. Oh no, he's got his archers over here in the fight. I assume they're out of ammo, which is not good because you want to try to conserve some ammo for the late game. As, you know, when it comes to a final stand, it can get pretty difficult. But my God, look at this. We had a Roman sally out, and he has just trampled some Helot slingers. I always loved Cav in Total War. The fact that people rode on horses into battle is a very terrifying thought. I mean, not really, relatively speaking. Like, you should see the weapons and, you know, machines we have now. But back then, I can imagine, especially if you're an archer, getting ready to be charged by a cav unit had to have been one of the most terrifying things in battle during those times. Because I actually live right by a farm, like literally right by it. I can walk over a couple feet, okay, more than a couple feet, to some horses that live nearby. And one time the horses got spooked, and they all galloped together. And this is like 4 or 5 horses, right? And it sounded like thunder. 4 or 5 horses running, galloping together sounds terrifying. Now imagine hundreds or even just dozens of horses galloping, armor, men on top of them with spears, arrows, or bows, swords, shields, charging you. I mean, that has to be just terrifying. And I really wish I could, like the hooves in this are nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you can kind of hear them, but I wish you could, like, edit the sounds of different sound effects. And I would try to make battles more lifelike and just make the hooves, the sound, you know, the thunder of these horses really loud. Because that, I mean, it's got to be terrifying. And on top of that, you've got, you know, the rally horn. That's probably just brings terror. Also, these are Helot slingers. Helot meaning slaves. So these are not like professionals. So yeah, he's just slaughtered the Spartan archer force, which is going to be a huge victory for him. And why are they cheering? Oh my God, it's like they're cheering. They're like, yes, the slaves are dead. What the hell? Now, the reason they were cheering is because they killed the crew of this ballista or scorpion. So that's why they're cheering. But it looked like they were cheering for the fact that their own men were getting trampled by that Roman cav. So we do have a retreat. We've got a red alert here. Nice little charge there into this royal guard. But they're going to quickly disengage as they are, I believe, a shock chav. No, they're a melee cav. So yeah, he's going to fall back and maybe keep doing cycle charges. It seems like this is very troubling times here. As if we look at the final stand, a lot of Bactria definitely preserved a lot of his troops for the final stand. But Seleucids don't have a ton. They've got some pikemen, which are very good at holding choke points, which is good. He's got some more pikemen here. He's got silver shield pikemen, and he's got some peltis here with a little bit of archers. And of course, we cannot forget the elephant. We have an Indian armored elephant, which is pretty huge. So they're not under-equipped, but they're not exactly in a very position of strength. You know, and they're not exactly like, all right, we're looking good. Especially considered, look at the numbers of troops that are left. Look at how Swaby pretty much fought no one yet and has an entire army ready to fight. And Rome is still alive. Remember, this is attacking Rome, not defending Rome. They still have troops. Now, they're not super healthy, relatively speaking, but they have troops, and the Roman troops should always be feared, no matter how small or how little of numbers there are. Over here, the Spartans are pretty much destroyed. So that's a big victory for Rome here in the defenders. Rome defeated these Spartans. In fact, he is already retreating his troops back to the town center because he knows, and look at this, he's got really healthy units. Like units that barely saw any action, if any. So they are now falling back and trying to get to the safety of the town center, or at the very least just trying to support their troops, their allies, as they prepare the epic last stand. These troops resting well here. Resting well. Chosen spear band. Spears aren't going to do a great job here, but it's numbers. And we got the Romans over here. A small legion over here. Some cohort. 7 of them already breaking. They're like, I want to go home. All of my brothers died in this battle. So, yeah, it's actually pretty tragic. So yeah, they're going to have a pretty nice stand here. They've got to defend 3 different points. They've got this point here, which is going to be the easiest point. It's probably why it has 1 unit. And then, of course, this point way over here. Now, I suppose the Romans could go all the way around here and flank around, which you might want to do, as this is a pretty solid defense, and you don't want to charge everyone at the same spot. And it seems the Seleucids, or I'm sorry, the not Seleucids, the Iceni are using their slingers to soften up this defense. And of course, he's using his Syrian archers as a meat shield to protect the royal guard. That's gotta suck. Like, you don't have any ammo. Absorb all this. Guys, keep your shield up. Oh my god. Jeez. They are dropping this royal guard. Come on, guys. Stay low. Put your shield up. Protect yourselves. And what's left of the Spartans actually causing some Romans to break. This is the Spartan general, so they're going to put up a decent stand. But the rest of the Romans are pushing up, and he's waiting patiently. And that's what he's got to do. If he goes in alone like this, he's just going to get focused down. He has to wait for them to attack this position. The balance of power is still not looking great. It's about the same, if not even worse, from the start of the battle. And I think what we're going to do here, guys, is do a quick little edit. I believe it slows down here as the armies are positioning. We got some archers going up to this hill, this ridge, which is really cool. I love these maps and how dynamic they are, and they let you use like different terrain to support your battles and support your positioning and whatnot. So actually, we might not need. Let me just fast forward a little bit. I don't know if the Romans are actually going to engage here. But, yeah, let's not edit it quite. Oh, here we go. Well, maybe they're just moving up. So maybe we will edit it. Actually. See, that's the challenge of, you know, I want to keep these battles flowing. I want to keep them entertaining. And I feel like sometimes in battles, it's smart to sit back a little bit. Like it's strategic. But I think we actually have a charge here. And we actually have elephants from the defending Romans. Auxiliary African elephants. Holding back against some cav. And they're accompanied with some armored legionaries. So they're fighting the cav here. I'm not sure why the Iceni charged cav in. Maybe just keep them in place as they send up some spearmen. Which they have. So the Romans have quite the fight here. Love this little courtyard here that the slingers are using as a little bit of a protection against the, I assume, the elephants. And now we have the berserkers charging in. And the Romans are like, quick, more of the barbarians come. So these berserkers, these berserkers are going to be tough. He might want to send up his reserves, which he is. Men, we have been called into action. Remember your training. Oh no, he's just getting a little bit closer. Look to the standard. Now the barbarians are charging in to clash with that Roman line. Yeah, those elephants making their sounds, you know, that classic elephant sound always reminds me of Zoo Tycoon. You guys ever play that game? Very fun game. Played that a lot as a kid. Running my own zoo. We also have a fight over here, guys. So let me turn on the HUD here. Yeah, lots of Iceni pushing in, which is kind of surprising. I would have held the attack here because I would have focused down this Roman player and then attack. Because you can fight the defenders one at a time since they're separated. Oh, geez, the elephants have fallen. I hate seeing elephants die. But yeah, the Bactrians are holding so effectively thanks to the Royal Guard in their phalanx formation. Let's not also forget about the thorax pikemen the Bactrians have, which are causing a lot of issues. I mean, that's one of the barbarians' biggest weaknesses is fighting pikes in a close quarter choke point such type of situation. You've really got to try to get around them or use archers or something to soften up those pikes. Back here, the Romans still await. They still have not given out the command. They've got some legionary cohort just waiting to charge in. And let's also look over here where we have the Seleucid elephants kind of waiting for the Romans to make a move. Maybe looking for a flank here. And the Romans are actually retreating their archers from this position. I don't know how many. I mean, this would be really good to fire down on Bactria as they're fighting the Iceni. But it seems like they are they're going to fall back here. And the Romans are now setting up more cohort. I wouldn't run them, though. Just rest them. Wait. And I guess he's just waiting for his allies to commit more troops. But the Roman Cav, the heroes of the hour, who just slaughtered archers, are at it again, slaughtering more archers. The Iceni charging in their heroic riders. This is their general. This could be an opportunity to kill the Iceni's general, which would be huge because the barbarians rely heavily. I mean, every faction relies on their general, but especially the barbarians. And if they lose their leadership, they will suffer a lot of morale. They will lose a lot of morale. It will be a very difficult fight from here on out. But the Romans are going to disengage, as this is a very tough unit to fight, and they're going to turn quickly and face and run down, trample the Briton slingers. I don't know what's more terrifying, getting charged by enemy cav, but also having to worry about friendly cav as well, as I'm sure friendly charges happen all the time. There goes a little charge right into the slingers. He is doing God's work right now. Seriously, guys, or should I say gods and goddesses' work, as they are Roman. But he's doing a really good job, because slingers here, especially in a last stand situation, if you can kill their skirmishers, you will save hundreds of lives. And he might not completely break these slingers, but he's done a lot of damage. Over here, the Romans are winning, guys. They are winning this fight. Amazing. I don't know how they defeated all those berserkers, but they did. And that's going to be a real issue. They've got to send up more men. Oh my god, they've got horse runners. What? Horse runners? I've never heard of this unit. Very light missile infantry. Very cool. I seriously have never seen this unit. But they're going to now use their projectiles to try to soften up the Romans. The Romans have no other choice but to throw back and to say, what's up? We got some projectiles of our own. Now the Romans charge, trying to chase down these horse runners. Random, you know, horses running around without their masters on them. And they're still trying to pursue these guys. They're going to disengage and now go to the flank. Look at this. They're going to go to the flank and save Bactria. Not that he really needs saving, as he has slaughtered hundreds of Iceni soldiers. And Iceni needs to retreat and reform and plan a different tactic. Back here, nothing has happened. Oh, wait. A general. What happened? His general. Oh, my God. How did this happen? His general got stuck in a fight with elephants. I don't know if you guys ever seen Lord of the Rings, but do you remember when the Mumakil ran and trampled down all the enemy cav, or not enemy, but the Rohirrim? Yeah, that movie alone, just every time I see elephants, I keep my cav very far away from the elephants. So Cav usually does not do well against elephants. So I don't know if that was just an accident or what. But the Romans are being very indecisive, and they're actually leaving. They're leaving this spot. Amazing. I think that's a bad move. I think you've got to put pressure on different points of this defense. Because if you focus all on one side, well, guess what? The defenders are going to focus all on one side. In fact, look at this. The Seleucids have the audacity to leave their defenses and to push out and fight these attackers. They're here trying to support their Roman brothers here, the Roman allies. God, this looks so good. Fight, hold the line. So an epic struggle there. Epic struggle. Now archers coming around the flank. They look confident. So yeah, they're going around some Syrian archers. I think he's gonna just group up with his allies and try to fight. But my God, the Romans here have slaughtered so many. I mean, their army is pretty much spent, but they have slaughtered so many in this struggle. And they just got to keep it up. Now, they don't want to get too aggressive, right? They don't want to get too aggressive and make a mistake. But if I was one of the attackers, get these troops in the fight. He's got some sword masters. And he's got openings here. Look at it. Opening here. He can maybe squeeze through here. He could get behind these pikemen. He could get behind them. The thorax pikemen. I think he's killing some Syrian archers over here, which is good. I mean, I think they're out of ammo, so it's not a big deal. Actually, some have ammo. Who are like firing. Like one dude has ammo. Okay, it looks like, okay, there's a couple. I think he just killed his own teammate. Okay. Very great. And now the general is, wow, the Roman general is going for a general kill. Very risky move there. But I think he killed him. Yeah. Iceni might be generalless, and his troops are now wavering. And Swaby just seems to be very indecisive in this battle. Oh, here we go. Here's a good move from the Swaby, going after the general of Rome. And that's probably going to be the end of the Roman general, unless he can squeeze out of that fight. Now he's charging in the sword masters, but why? When you can flank around. There we go. He's actually giving up the general kill. Maybe he already killed him, but I don't know. He's finally we get to see a flank. And that should be the end of the Romans. Oh my God! So cool. Heavy swordsmen going in. More and more troops charging. They've got to be careful. They don't want to commit too many troops out here, as their flanks are exposed. And now the Iceni have their general on horseback running around. The Romans are here, but they're tired. They're winded. They're not too tired. I guess I'm used to Shogun 2, where the fatigue is very, very, like you lose fatigue very quickly. But what a struggle here. And I cannot believe they're not using their numbers and trying to flank around. The Romans look like they're trying to do it. The balance of power, it looks like it's even worse. It's even worse for the defenders. So Bactria, they've got, I believe that is their royal guard holding against so many sword masters. He's also got some slingers attacking the flank, some Iceni slingers. Yeah, this is royal guard. They're going to put up a good stand, but look at this. Honestly, let's slow motion this. 1, 2, 3, 4 swordsmen. And most of them have over 100 troops or close, attacking one unit in the front. Like, I've never, how is it even possible? How can you even accidentally do this? So he should take one of these and just go around. I mean, slingers are attacking the flank, but they're slingers. Send one of your sword masters, go around and kill these guys. Because, yes, these guys are going to die, but they're taking so many with them. So, that's, like, being a good player at Total War, honestly, isn't that hard. It's just all about, like, it's just small things, I suppose. Just flanking. Like, that's a huge, huge ability that helps out the battle a lot, you know, flanking around. But the Romans finally send some troops to flank, and that's why. Watch how quickly the Royal Guard will break now, or die. Now that they have some professional troops behind them, they are going to crumble. Already down to 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35. Like, they're going fast now because they have nowhere to go. And now all they can do here, oh God, this is looking bad. This is it. Does the Roman player have any extra troops? Doesn't look like it. It seems that their troops have been trampled. It seems they have gotten a taste of their own medicine as the noble riders have trampled their archers, and it seems these sword masters have slaughtered what's left of the Roman infantry. Look at this Roman fighting to the end. Let's, he deserves some screen time here. Surrounded. Thank God only one attacks him at a time. Oh. Rest in peace. Oh no. Oh no. Good night, sweet prince. We will remember you. Okay, so let's go back here. The tragedy of war. Now, this could actually hold. It depends on how much ammo they have, but there's 2 units of pikes and a Royal Guard unit, and we have elephants and, let's see, Royal Peltis and some pikemen over here. So they've got a really good force for defending. As long as these guys don't have too much ammo, they can hold and defeat this army. We could have a crazy siege battle here, crazy ending, as the balance of power is greatly in the attacker's favor. And siege battles are battles of attrition. I mean, they really do. Siege battles come down to tiny victories. You have a bunch of tiny victories, you will have an overall victory. And what I mean by tiny victories, well, let's watch this duel right here because this is kind of cool. Oh, he's going in. Look at him. He's like, I don't care. I will kill every berserker. Ah! Ah! Look at him. This guy's mad. He's fighting right in the... Oh. What a madman. He bought time, though, for his pikes to form. But yeah, what I was saying is A bunch of tiny victories will lead to a major victory. And what a tiny victory was for the defenders, that Bactrian Royal Guard last stand where the enemies didn't flank around and he held them back for much longer than he should have. That is a tiny victory. That is right there, attrition. A battle of attrition. And you have more victories like that. You have a bunch of victories like that. You will win this battle. God, see, we're seeing some great animations here. Look at the lighting. This looks so good. That man is annoying gold for anyone who kills him. You know, Rome 2 is starting to grow on me a little bit. I hate to say it, but it only took... Oh. It only took a long time, but it's starting to grow on me. Oh, got his revenge for his fallen brothers. And the pikes are holding. I mean, you can just see the pile of dead here at the end of the tips of these pikes. Look at this guy. He's like, don't come back. Barbarian scum will be here all night. We won't falter. We won't break. Love this guy. That looks cool. Look at these men. These brave soldiers. Let me just do a little panel here. I guess I need to slow the camera down a little bit, but these brave men right here, what's left of the defenders, holding to the last. And look at what's left. Romans. Barbarian swordsmen. Though they are stupid, they are skilled. They weren't stupid. Only a joke. Only a joke. So we got a little bit of a standoff here. We're going to fast forward a little bit. Oh, they're going in for a charge. And what the hell is this, Rome? Rome! No! Alright. Another small victory coming in. Rome piling up his troops. Going after one pike. You got to try to, like, push on the flanks. But if they attack like this the whole time, guys, this is a defensive victory. Come on, hold! Look at the gods look down upon them at the temple of Athena. Looks down upon them, the goddess of wisdom, military wisdom, whatever. Oh, sorry guys. Gotta take some screenshots here. It looks so cool, this angle here with the temple behind them. I just love how you can get so close to this fight. Hold! Oof. Stab! Push them back with your pikes! Yeah, it's looking rough already. The Romans are breaking. Sure, they're archer units. Well, actually, one is not an archer unit. It is, well, I can't see. They broke. They're gone. Do we have anybody flanking around? We've got one unit of Britain slingers. Guys, I guess we have a cav unit coming around, but it's getting zoned out by the Indian armored elephants. Noble riders retreating. I just don't understand why they decided to do this when they had such overwhelming numbers. Overwhelming. Now the Seleucid pikes are coming in. overwhelming numbers, and they decide to all charge one area. The defenders do not have enough troops to block this, and this. They could have easily, they can still do it now. Send these troops around. It might take a while, but it will be worth it. Retreat these men, hold them here, right? So this is what they need to do. Retreat the men, hold them here, wait. Make them leave, make them worry about this flank, because you don't want to send everyone around a flank, then they're just going to reposition and defend that. Just wait there, send these guys around the flank, maybe send one unit around here. I mean, you could do so much damage. So much damage. But, that is something for the commanders of this battle to learn for next battle. As we are just having fun here. And I don't mean to be too harsh to the players, as I do and continue to do stupid stuff in Total War all the time, as you guys probably know. But I think they could have easily and still can win this battle, as long as they start pushing some troops to a flank. And there we go. He's now committing more men. Oh, more men into this fray. Now it is possible. Oh my God. So I seen he had the right idea. They sent their slingers, but slingers already breaking to Royal Peltis. And hey, the Romans are breaking through here, so hold on. We might get something crazy. I mean, honestly, if I was the Seleucids, I wouldn't have left the formation. I would have just let the slingers charge my back because, well, slingers. And not only were they slingers, but it was a depleted unit of slingers. So, I don't think they would have caused any mass rout or anything. The elephants are constantly protecting against the Cav. Really glad the Seleucids are not charging their elephants into the battle, as they could run amok and kill their own men. So really smart play by the Seleucid player. Keep them back, don't let them break through. I wish you could go in and fight as one of the soldiers. That would be so amazing. I know it's kind of hard to do because you need to be giving out commands, not fighting as a soldier, and I'm sure it'd be pretty tough to program, but it would be so awesome. Nice little charge there. And the noble rider still holding position. Lots of breaking going on from the attackers. And once again, piling up troops in one spot. Gotta spread them out. I know it seems like, hey, we've got a ton of troops here, and that's great. We can overwhelm them, but you can't, because it's much better to have a spread out attack. As the troops in the back, they're just getting tired and fighting no one. So it's a waste of energy. Just how Total War works. The troops in the back are technically fighting, and they are getting tired as a unit. And that affects their combat effectiveness. Now, they are breaking a Seleucid unit. Bactria's down to a small unit of pikes, 29 men, and their general who's got 70 men. They're looking really good over here. But it seems that the Suebi are trying to defeat the general, maybe try to kill him. Oh, here's a rear charge. Rear charge from the noble riders. They kind of got around the elephants. The elephants did kill a ton. Oh, jeez. Now the elephants are going to join the fight. Protect the rear. Oh, swinging their trunks around. Look at these guys. And there you go. Huge, huge break. The Romans are pretty much out of the fight. The Bactrian general is now trying to get behind the barbarian scum. And trying, again, barbarians rely heavily on shock tactics, breaking, Suebi in particular, relies on scaring their enemies, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And they are surrounded and now getting cut down. And this is going to be an amazing defensive turnaround. And who says defenders never win, right? Who says that? Everyone. So let's end the replay. Look at the results. So this was sent in by Nicola, I'm pretty sure. Thank you for the battle replay, man. This was great. He had the smallest army, I believe. Let's see. Actually, wow. No. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yes, he had the smallest army by 30. Swaby was close. But he had the smallest force, but yet he killed a good amount. He didn't kill the most per se, but he did well. The Romans did an excellent job. Excellent job slaughtering those Spartans. And the Seleucids did great as well, especially with the elephant. Long Schlong Poppy, who did great. 282 with those elephants. Really great job. Swaby player does not have a name for some reason. Sparta unfortunately struggled. Now, again, Sparta is a terrible attacking faction. Not saying you can't win as Sparta, but they're tough to use. So I think he needed some artillery. And cav. I think some cav would have helped him for sure. And then the other Roman player doing pretty well. Swaby actually did the best, which is kind of surprising based on like how he blobbed up the troops. But he did the best there, which is great. Iceni getting just under 1,000. I think if Sparta killed a bit more, and maybe Iceni. I mean, the thing is that Swaby got a lot of kills, and he could have gotten a lot more. That's the crazy part. But no, he didn't do too bad. So, yeah, that's going to wrap it up for today's battle, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys had fun. It was a lot of fun watching this one. And I'll see you guys next time on the battlefield.